Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
This is wonderful to have people here. I think the notice just went up, and I'm going to read chat a little bit. We have a whole lot of information to share, and specifically, we're doing Magic Tool Talk. And it is specifically about wands and staffs. When we are finished with this, I will put in the chat, or excuse me, in the description, the questions that we answered, so that if you want to do a VR, you use the hashtag Magic Tool Talk -wands. So there we go. Okay, so who are you people? Yes, you, Chris.
Who goes first? I don't know. I'm Chris. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris.
Who are you?
I'm Chris. Conjure Man. I'm just going to go by Conjure Man. We'll do. I can't figure out what I am anymore. I'm still a witch. I'm still a druid. I do shaman shit. Conjure Man. Barely Balanced Tarot, thanks. I forget. YouTube channel, Barely Balanced Tarot, and Facebook group, Barely Balanced Tarot, where we have a lot of freaking fun. Because all of you lovely people are there.
Yes. And
That's
who
me.
are you, Robin?
And I'm Robin of Toadstool Tarot, and I have a YouTube channel and a Facebook group, and I encourage more people to join the Facebook group because I don't have a whole lot of people on there yet. And we have beverages, and this is a wand.
Is Deanne here? Sips up. Sip.
Yeah, sip. So we are hoping that people in chat will feel free to participate. And let's see who we got. Scott, Scorpio Moon Tarot, said, "Hey, Gerald and everyone, on lunch break, so we'll miss live, but hope everyone is doing well. Miss you all." Well,
Hi, Scott. You'll see us in the replay.
Yeah. Tarot Stash is here. Jezebel is here. Hello. Glad to have you join us. Amber, the page is here. Hello, Amber. I'm signing in early. Let's see if I can get a notification. They work on my phone, but never anywhere else, it seems. Well, you know, I always say you have to like and subscribe, right? And hit the little bell. But sometimes it doesn't work. Nancy is here. Hello, Nancy. It's good to see you. She's everybody's subscribed to Nancy's channel, right? Right, people. So, and Justin Michael is here, and Gerald's going to talk about his magic tool. Oh, you know.
We were wondering if when the peanut gallery puns would start.
Well,
we made a bet backstage. We didn't really, but we should have.
And Justin Michael started it. So Tangi is here. Hello, Tangi. And let's see. So that is lovely. So, oh, we got some new comments. Okay. Okay. There we go. Looks like, yes. Deanna is here. Justin Michael, Jezebel said, "I adore your lives on cardomancy and card making and history. Freaking glad I found your channel." Well, there you go. Oh, and okay. Ooh. Chat jump. Sorry. Not sorry.
Zane is here. Zane will sip with me.
Deanne is here. Everybody's saying hi. And Jonathan is here. Hello, Jonathan.
Jonathan.
And I am looking like Tom Selleck today. Very handsome.
Oh, I had such a crush on him when I was a kid. He's one of the actors that let me know I was gay.
Did you have a crush on Tom Selleck too, Robin?
Well, up until I found he was a major proponent of the NRA.
Oh, don't ruin my fantasies, Robin. Charlton Heston was bad enough.
Yeah.
Justin says, I'm team barely balanced. Sorry, Robin. Well, Robin, you should invite Justin Michael to join Toadstool Tarot. Look, Zane is here. Hello, Zane.
Sip, sip, Zane.
Yep. And Ishi is here. Hello. Glad to have everybody here. Yeah. Kill the dream, Robin. Amber.
I know. Some information, I know it's hard. You just got to keep it to yourself.
What's hard and where are you holding it? How are you keeping it to yourself? No. Jilly is here. Hello, Jilly. And so.
Well, we're talking about Tom Selleck and wands, and you're asking about what's hard.
It's hard keeping you two wrangled.
Yeah, so that didn't last. That didn't last long at all, did it?
It didn't. So this is Magic Tool Talk, and if you would like to do, we're answering about seven or eight questions, and when we're finished, I will post those questions in the description box, and feel free to do a VR using hashtag Magic Tool Talk -wands. Would love to see your answers to
Gerald, will you post the questions in the when the video on YouTube in the comments? Yeah,
yes.
Cool.
I'll put them in the description below.
Okay.
So.
That's what I meant, I think.
Yep. So
yeah, because I was telling Gerald earlier that I like the art of magic. It's just like if we were all artists or painters or something, and we would all have our style, our technique, and use the paintbrushes and the paint and all kinds of different ways to do wonderful things. But we would be able to talk to each other, like, as colleagues, and share what we do. And I'm fascinated by what other people do and how and why they do it. So not just the three of us. I want to see chat. I want to see the VRs. I love this stuff. Love it. So.
Yeah. And Tangi said, I need a t-shirt that says I'm a magic tool. So, and of course, Mindy.
Yes, of course. It's probably because you walked in the room. You always get me naughty.
So, and Justin says, to be fair, I also belong to Robin's curmudgeon cave.
I love that. Actually.
I don't know how you feel about that. Okay, I have to post this, but I'm not reading it. This is what Zane said.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we haven't even got started to talk about actual wands yet. We have already gone way off the rails.
So Naomi is here. Hello, Naomi. And so I know this is just crazy. So so you found. I mean, you are here because I'm hoping that you saw our first talk about magic tools. And as we go on with this, we've got different things that we're going to talk about. And so we're going to start with Chris and then go Robin and then me for the answers. So
I was hoping we'd go the other way. Let's see. Robin, you want to go first?
No.
I'll go. I'm Gemini. I like to be in the middle. So I'll be in the middle. And then you are my little angel and devil on the side. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's next. Now he's next.
Chris, you're going next. You're going first. Stop.
Oh, my gosh.
Whose show is this anyhow?
I thought it was like the customer's always right.
You're not paying for anything. So.
All right.
By the way, spiritual practitioner is here. Hello. And Antoinette said, so to clarify, you're going to tell us what you do with your magic wands. Yes, we are. So let's go. Chris.
All right.
What
So
is a wand or a staff?
I'll be probably doing more of the animist sort of view of this stuff. So just from a simple tool function, a staff or a wand to me is a long, thin thing that you do magical stuff with. We think of sticks and, actual staves, but there are stangs, and I'm going to show you one that I use for ritual very much. So it can be traveling altars, but a long twisty stick can still be a wand, or just about any long thing. This, to me, is one of my main magic tools, and this is very much a wand. So if you're using it magically and it's long and thin and you want to call it a wand, that's a wand. That's
okay. Jezebel said, people wonder what chaos magic is, just need to watch a hermit mage live.
Jezebel, speaking of that, Jezebel and I know there's some other folks here that were, I don't know who else in the Barely Balanced Facebook group. But I posted a while back to get some interest on doing a chaos magic learning group. This would not be video stuff. This would just be us actually doing that. So that will still be coming up. I'm working on how to organize that. But so if anybody's interested in chaos magic stuff, it'll be just magic in general with a chaos magic sort of lens to sort of filter and organize how we're thinking things, because it's very eclectic. So. So anybody interested in that, keep a look out for that. And
Robin, what is a wand or a staff?
Okay, I need about a minute and a half uninterrupted.
Shut up, Chris.
That's why you made me go first.
I'm not even out of the gate yet. Zip it with your wand. The shortest distance between 2 points is a line. A line made of energy-conducting materials is a wand. For skeptics out there, we know that the body conducts and transmits energy. We can see the proof through Kirlian photography and infrared cameras. For instance, if you touch a wall, an infrared camera will show a heat signature at the point of contact. So that's all I'm going to say right now. I have more to say, but that's my minute and a half.
Okay, so, all right. And is it the same for a wand and a staff?
You're asking me or both of us?
You. Listen to me right now, because he's.
I only have one staff, and I'm not really. I don't use it the same way, but I suppose it could be. Yeah.
Okay. And Mindy said that was not 90 seconds, Robin. And Amber the Page said that was beautiful, Robin. So if you have, and Amber said, now I need to take notes. Do you want to finish that thought? Because seriously, Robin, because that goes back to your idea of what is a wand and a staff.
All right. Well, I can go on. This may lead into the other questions, though, but I have maybe 30 seconds more.
Go for it.
We all are born with wands. In case you don't own a wand, yeah, you do. You were born with them. We are born with wands that have power. Fingers. When we use gestures like beckoning, summoning, accusing, fuck you. These are all gestures of power through our 10 wands that we're born with. And I sort of hearken these back to what I call the witch's finger, which, witches cast spells through their hands and fingers before they adopted wands. Also, fingers can spiral a grip around a pen to create sigils in the form of words, which convey power to transform And arms and legs are wands of power in expressive dance and martial arts. So
Yes.
there you go.
Yes. And that was well said, Robin. That was beautiful. And I can tell you are a writer. So I'm going to heap praise on you. So get ready. Actually, the chat is going to heap praise on you. Amber was, I need to take notes. Jezebel was, that was a very cool description of wand. That was awesome, Robin. I liked that explanation, Robin. I think Robin got the question to make notes in advance. That was so elegant. And Justin said, I have to stop you there, whatever. And Jonathan has called his acupuncture needles my little wands before. Tangi is recommending jazz hands because, you know, your 10 fingers, that's awesome. Even the female, those wands, it's a staff we don't have. It's a staff we don't have. Okay.
I know where she's going with that. I know that. I do.
Always jazz hands. Spirit fingers or jazz hands. I can see that. So Regina is here. Hello, Regina. And so that was beautiful, and I have to follow that. So simply put, a wand is an extension of your will. There you go. So between the three of us, I think we have it covered nicely. So Govinda's here. I just saw Govinda pop in. Maybe there it is. Hi. And okay, so Chris,
I nearly
lost his eyebrows at the start of the statement. It's okay.
Which statement? I make all kinds of facial expressions that I'm not aware of. That's why I've never been able to lie. I can't. You just read my face.
So building upon the definition of our personal definition of a wand and staff, it's like, what's the general purpose of a wand or a staff? And we are going to start with Chris again because it's my show.
I was so prepared to go second. Here's where I can get complicated. I am going to try not to, because some of this will come to other discussions. So the purpose of a wand or staff, and I think this to me just goes back to tools in general. It is an extension of your will, purpose, magic, energy. It can or is at the same time part of a symbolic language, an imaginal language, a magical language, or imaginal or magical language. But when I use tools, I also have to think about like what was their like first human use and how, because again, I love the anima stuff and I love to go back. And so before stones, before we could even make things to hold water, we were able to pick up sticks off the ground or break them off the branches. And so the wand and every tool since, magical or otherwise, has just been an aid for humans. And so I guess I approach all magical tools sort of that way. Like if I need them, I need them, but I don't like actually need a tool, but they become special, or they can accumulate power, or they shortcuts, or a language. It becomes something that you build in to your magical practice. Right. First time I saw a magic wand was my grandpa's walking cane, and we planted huge fields every year, and he used his walking cane to make the hole in the ground to put the seeds in that I came behind and put the seeds in. And so now I can look back at that and see that almost in a primitive way of people first agriculture. And the staff is a phallic symbol, and putting a hole in the ground is putting the staff into the Mother Earth, and then you put the seed and you cover it up and you water it, and fucking magic, something grows and you can eat it, right?
Right.
That I think is almost where, like, that's a magic wand. That's where fascination may have started, you know? And so to me, it is a phallic symbol. It's a symbol of energy sent out, an extension of my energy sent out. So, like, I don't think anyone needs it, but yeah, so I guess I'll stop there.
Okay.
I went back to ancient man and got caught up, so I'll stop there.
No, that makes sense. Ishi said sticks were life facilitators, clubs, fire, etc. And then they infused with belief in their value and the power they contain, not robbing the magic at all. It all comes in what is their power.
I love that. Love that, Ishi.
Yeah. Deanne was like on yes, farming magic. And Antoinette said, or can I call you Tony? It focuses the mind. So, and Regina Tarot said, "Eat the Magic" is the name of our next tour.
I love it.
All right.
Love it.
Yeah. Liminal Lark is here. Hello, Leanda. And I see Chris. Elemental Cartomancy is here. Hello.
Handsome Chris.
So for those just joining us, we're doing our Magic Tool Talk, and we are talking about Magic Tool Talk -wands. If you want to do a VR, the questions I'm asking will be in the description below after we're finished here. So, Robin, what is the general purpose of a wand or staff?
First of all, I really love Chris's story about the grandfather and the planting staff or planting wand, which actually, that coming to fruition with edible materials also could be extended to the phallus and the creation of human beings as well. So there you go. But the purpose of a wand, I think it's to convey energy from one place to another. And it's strengthened by your intention and also the degree of conductivity in whatever the wand happens to be made of.
Right.
I don't know if I'm clear on that or not, but that's what comes to mind.
I think, Rob, you're saying that the particular material of the wand itself can have different energy values because it's
I think
transferring
it's strengthened or amplified by the intent, but every wand, even without the person, has a certain degree of energy in it. In fact, I did a little research over the last couple of days, and I didn't even realize that trees have a temperature. So, like, all materials have a temperature. There's energy. There's molecules vibrating in all solid objects. Even non-solid objects. Liquid, I guess, isn't a solid object, but everything has energy at different rates, and some conduct the energy better than others.
Can I comment on Gerald? That comment.
You already did, so go ahead.
Sorry, you're the boss of the show. I don't know if I need to zip it or not.
Go ahead. What were you going to say, Chris?
That idea of the heat in different things, Robin, a few months ago actually hit me really hard and has almost completely transformed the way I even imagine how the world works anymore. Because we always talk about energy and vibration, we're all made of star stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I was watching one of those paranormal shows where they're in the infrared, investigations or whatever, and they're just showing the two people on the couch, and they're lit up. And this has been true. I just never thought about it. That when you see people's heat signatures on infrared, that's light. It's their heat, yes, but that's light. It's light that we can't see in the infrared range. And I was like, holy, like, we're not just made of star stuff. We actually generate, I'm going to cuss, fucking light, like we do.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't too long after that, I read where a Muslim or Sufi scholar had written one time, I don't know, 800 years, I don't know how long. And he made this, he phrased it this way. All matter is bottled light, and all light is unbottled matter. And I'm not going to go any further than that, but yes, like that just like hit me. Like, there's not a difference between the matter and spirit, matter and light. We're all, it's just a spectrum. Like the physical universe, we could just think of it colder, denser vibrations, and we're just going to turn back into light. You know, it goes back and forth. So yes, sorry, I had to put that tangent because it was such I'm still figuring. I'm still getting stuff.
Chris, that's really nice, because that goes back to my general purpose of a wand. It's to help me focus my will and my energy for whatever I want to do. And since it's my show, I can back up and I can go, well, what is a wand or a staff? It's anything that I want it to be. I have preferences for the type of materials, but it's anything that helps me to focus that energy. And
wait. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to piggyback on what you just said. Even if you don't believe in the power of a wand, just as a simple prop to help your mind focus on the energy is a purpose. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's beautiful, because a lot of times kids are taught to read by pointing at words, or they start to develop an understanding of language by, you get a picture book and it's like, point to the dog, point to the house, point to the flower. You are using something to help focus your energy, and it's doing what Chris is talking about. It's that energy, but I use a wand to help transfer that energy, that spirit, into a physical form in some manner.
Yeah.
So
we were talking about the finger thing. There's the power of a gesture, Robin, like you were talking about earlier. You know, it means something else when you are pointing at something than, you know, this or that. It is an extension of your gaze. The first arrows, the first spears, it's ingrained in our biology to know what the hell that means. Do you know what other animal on the planet does that? Understands our pointing? Dogs. Yeah. Dogs. They hunted with us. They had to learn what it meant when we extended our finger out, not to look at us, but to look where we were looking, to look where our finger was going. Even primates, other primates don't understand human finger pointing. They don't do it. It's fascinating.
And then also the dog's tails, when they are seeing something.
And then they will line up and. That's a magical relationship. We've been worlding with those beings for so long that they actually understand our body language and our language. They can learn up to like some from 100 to like 500 of our words. And our closest relative, a chimpanzee, can't do that with us really yet.
And we have simple power through a finger. If you point at someone, you can hold their attention, you can grab their attention. Just think of yourself in a restaurant. You can call the waiter. You can make the waiter come to you with that wand. You can do a little sigil in the sky to let them know you want your check. You know, there's a lot that can be done with, you know, you can tell somebody to get lost, bug off. There's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, and it just reminds me of I read tarot, like many of us do, and I know when I am connected, there's a certain point where I feel very, very connected, and I'm trying to make a point, and suddenly I find myself pointing at the person with what is being said through me, And then I'm like, going, oh, I'm pointing at you. You better pay attention to this. So it's extremely important. So, all right.
It's
so
funny you said that, because I find a lot of times when I read or do I'll put my finger on the card, or I'll connect my finger to certain symbols, and I didn't even realize until now what I'm doing is I'm conducting or conveying information through those symbols on the card up through my finger into my body.
Yeah, very true. So the next question is Chris is going to start. What element or elements do you associate with wands or staffs?
All right. Since my answer for this one's going to be much shorter, probably, I'm going to do a part B to the second question for the purpose part, because it's kind of this explains my answer for the element part.
Go ahead.
So, the elements, there's two magic camps. One's or fire or air. That never really mattered that too much to me when I first got into studying the craft of Wicca and stuff. Our particular tradition was from based on reclaiming the Starhawk, which was a fairy tradition. So wands were air and blades were fire. But in the tarot, it's just never mattered, because they've been so easily switchable for me anyway. I'm a Gemini, so I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It's just never been hard for me to switch those two. So the particular elemental association for me, though, has mostly been air, because I see that the wand is growing out of the ground. It's in the wind, and that, to me, the first stirrings of being aware of spirits was the wind. And I even as a kid, used to say, what is the wind? It's just, that's just all the dead people. That's the souls everybody's talking about. The wind is living, like the wind was alive to me, and I could move energy that way. And so when I first used a stick or a wand, it was the same energy. It was the same movement for me. So for me, it's air, but I have no problem with it being fire, because of the four traditional elemental symbols, it's also the one that burns, right. Air and fire. So it's just switchable for me.
Okay.
But as I've grown, it's become more just a magic tool. I don't think, oh, it's air, I'm gonna do this. It's just an extension of that. But it's also an invoking tool for me. Sure. So when I talk about the staff and the staying, more about that, but even with a wand, I will, and that's why I have a double terminated one. I can invoke one way and draw energy in through it or into me, and or then direct it out through the other end, or whatever I'm doing with it. And I don't have to have, a fancy, gosh, how's that work? Double-ended thing to represent the polarity.
Right.
A stick naturally has polarity anyway. So that answers, I hope, I guess.
It does.
I didn't want to get like crazy complicated. I'm like, I don't associate it strictly with,
This is a wonderful conversation, and I'm loving it. And Robin, before I have you answer that question, I want to go through chat, because there's some nice things here. Chris has said, yeah, the visible spectrum is only a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. And Ishi is singing This Little Light of Mine. I don't sing on the channel, so and Tangi is, what's the matter with your matter when you make the pancake batter and you splatter all the matter with your matter of the matter? Tangi,
I hope somebody answers that question.
I will be able to dance, but it will be an interpretive dance to Tangi's remix of that. That is actually beautiful. Justin is calling Chris Doc Brown. And okay.
Wands were probably our first noisemakers as well. That's another air association for me.
Jezebel said that's scary. If we are just dense light, where is the individual and ego stored? Well, stay tuned. That'll be a completely different.
We can answer that in 30 seconds.
You might be able to, but I can't.
But you
Amber
go first.
said-
You go.
Yeah. Amber said, "My grandmother used to say, the truth is the truth, no matter what you believe."
Mhm.
Yeah. And okay. I love that, working with those beings. And just before,
Worlding.
my grandma said, the truth is an ugly old woman wanting you to lie and tell people she is beautiful. Well, okay.
I like your grandmas.
and the gagging finger towards the throat expression in the restaurant.
Or saving your life when you've eaten something poisonous. That's actually, yeah, it's a lifesaver.
Oh, and so just so that we are clear, Neem is here. Hello, Neem. I'm not going to say it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it, Chris.
Neem. Oh my God. Neem. I can't.
So, Neem said, fire is wands. Justin
I'll fight you, girl.
It is all four.
I mean,
Jezebel
they
said,
are all four, right? They're, yeah.
Well, now jump ahead of yourself there, Chris.
Is it button up time?
Masha is jumping in to say a quick hello. Hello, Masha, because I'm going to be on with Musings by Masha here at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tony said Earth because it encompasses all elements, maybe. And chat just jumped. So, okay. And yeah, there you go. Robin, what elements do you associate with wands or staffs?
Well, Justin just said something that's quite profound, I think. Trees use water, fire, the sun, earth, and air to grow. And I do associate trees with wands more than any other kind of wand. I mean, you can have all kinds of wands out of all kinds of materials, but trees are, you know, the big source material for me as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I associate all four elements with wands. You know, if a wand is made from wood, it comes out of the ground. The tree, so there's the earth element. You've got sap rising through the tree. There's the liquid water element. You've got fire. There's the energy involved in the movement, the motion. And you've all, you know, wood burns as well. And also, if you like smoke and you wave around a wand in the smoke, you'll see the air being swirled or swished or stirred, the energy being stirred by a wand. So I equate all four of those elements with wands.
Okay. Just so that we can say hi, Sadhana is here. Hello. Thank you for joining.
Hi.
Trees are so special. I typically associate wands or staffs primarily with fire, and I associate them with the direction of south. That being said, they work well with all of the elements, because when you add an element of fire or that power and that inspiration to air, this happens. You add it to earth, this happens. You add it to water, you create steam. So there's a beautiful mixture of them. So, and okay. So the next question is what can you substitute for this tool if you don't have a staff or a wand? And I'm going to have Robin go first, because you already said it, dude.
Well, yeah, I said already, you know, you can use what you were born with. Also, I noted the other day, and I love it, Jenna of Jennifer Ball's Witch House said she has a kitchen wand which is a big wooden spoon. And I love that. A wooden spoon and a broom seem like very traditional old world wands from a witch's house, you know?
Absolutely.
Also, painters' paintbrushes, writers' pens, chopsticks. I'll show some of that later. Those are the things that come to mind at the moment. The rest sort of escapes me, so I'll pass right now.
And I would say, if you don't have a tool around, fingers, your elbows, you know, anything that would allow you to point your leg, and sometimes staffs are pounded on the ground. You could pound with your feet, so your legs and your arms and your fingers. So,
Drumstick.
Yeah.
Yes. What about you, Chris?
Well, you were talking about fingers, so wands, cup, blade, and earth.
Wait, what was the third one?
What did I do?
You pointed to your mouth.
Wand, cup, blade.
Blade. Oh, okay.
Feet.
Yeah.
And then earth. What's the question? What can you substitute anything? You don't need it in the first place. So if you just need to do magic, you do magic. But yeah, your finger, your extension of your I guess when I'm doing magic, either, like I do gestures because I feel the energy moving and I direct it if I'm directing energy. And so it just naturally becomes an extension, and so I can with or without it. But for a practical tool, like I've used my first ever staff all the time on the beach. All the time on the beach, I would go and I would use that to draw my draw my circle, you know. Yeah. And so if I didn't have that, I still draw a circle, you know. But I would use it then for the evoking of whatever I was doing with it, and then in the ground would seal the circle for me as well. So it became like a pillar for the the circle. So just quick. I guess that's a quick answer. Just anything. I mean, you don't need it. So.
And what child or adult, for that matter, hasn't drawn in the sand with their finger at the shoreline and watched the ocean like imbue that sigil out to sea, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Ishi said all elements, because it is also held and grounded by the spirit that holds it. And in this case, the grounding is an extension and a drawing power to send the magic beyond the material realm that we perceive. Yes.
I love that. Ishi. And as I was reading other people's comments after I actually was talking about my stuff, I think I want to revise my answer for the element. I think maybe it's just spirit for me. Because when you were talking too, Gerald, about the wand being tree, I always associate wands with trees, and the tree for me is my core cosmology symbol. It's everything, and I use sticks or staves to represent the world tree when I do my hallows. So yeah, maybe just spirit. I like that. I love that we've had this discussion. Love it.
This is the wonderful thing about that. I was exactly hoping would happen is we'd learn things from each other. Regina is pens, baby. Pens and pencils all the way. Ishi said, if the fingers are wands, then there is magic in mudras. And sadhana is there is magic in mudras. And Sadhana, do you teach mudras? Because I want to learn that. It's something that I'm being drawn to. So
magical gesture, body movement, sacred hand formations. Yes, I see magic as weaving, and so if you're putting the magic in, if you're not putting magic, if you're raising the magic in you, and you're putting the magic itself literally into sacred symbols and formations. That's also physical, also vibrations, also and yeah. My general practice the past 6 months even, or maybe even shorter, has been incorporating some a lot more ritual gestures into my magic. Sorry, I love the mudra discussion.
Gerald, there are also several card decks that have mudras, and I don't have anything handy, but maybe somebody in the chat can put in some links for mudra card decks.
I would love that. Justin Michael shared, I have a huge North American ash tree in front of my house. It was hit by lightning, and I made a wand with it. I love it. St. Patrick's staff was made of ash. Yeah, definitely.
You have a blasted ash tree wand. Perfect.
Okay, so sadhana. Okay, I teach mudra with yoga, meditation. Thank you. And Amber saying this may be mundane, but bread making. Well, you know what? You're putting your hands into it, and I'm a person who cook with intent, bake with intent, because it's there.
Yeah,
so,
kitchen magic all the way. There's so much deep magic in cooking and culture, but yeah, just the staff of, we call it the staff of life.
Yeah.
Bread.
Amber said Benabel has something info about mudras on our website. Thank you. Mudra for body, mind, and spirit card deck.
Thanks, Deanne.
Thank you. Thank you, Sadhana. The best mudra book ever. Mudra, the Sacred Secret by Indu Orowa. I butchered that. Okay, so this is where I think people are really going to want to see. It's show and tell. And so we're going to start with you, Chris, and we're going to show and tell. So this is question 5. Show us your wand or your staff, and then tell us how it was created, what materials you used and why, and if this tool has a specific use.
All right.
I'm going to take this down so people.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, that'll be easier.
I'm going to embiggen you so people can see more. Okay. So. First.
Yeah. Well. Okay. My first wand was my first staff, and let's see if you can see this here, because. Oops. It's a cedar staff. Oh, it looks way much longer doing that than it actually is. It is just a little bit shorter. You can't see. Actually comes up to the very top of my head, so it's 5'11". I must have been 9 or 10. Couldn't have been any older than that. And I didn't know anything about magic at that point. I just knew I wanted a staff, and I was already a geek little nerd, so I'm sure I read up all kinds of crap in the library that I could get my hands on. And my favorite tree was a cedar tree because they smelled good and they were beautiful and they grew all around us. So I went out into the woods and found a very slender. Don't hit your ceiling fans with your wands. Be careful how you wave them, boys. Picked one out, and again, I didn't know anything about. Somebody's out with that thing. I didn't know anything about magic or tool collecting or making. I just wanted a staff, and I love trees and I love nature. And so I just talked to the tree that I was going to cut down and told it that if it was okay with that it would be with me for the rest of its life, and that it would be you're just discarded or something. And so I don't know, even back then I was aware, that other things have intelligences to them. And so I felt like I had permission. And so I cut it down, and I cut it, the length of it at the time, this is kind of weird because I just measured again. The length of it at the time, I wanted to be taller than I was because, I was 9 or 10. So I just kind of randomly chose a size that was taller than me. But as I grew up, it now is actually exactly my height. So I sanded it down, made it, and this has been my main magic tool for my entire life since then, I guess. I've done almost everything with it. So that's my first.
Okay.
Do we want to go share someone else and do it like that?
Yeah. Robin's going to go next, but Sadhana asked the question. do the wand not channel energy, or are they energy? Let's not confuse energy with the medium for wielding it.
I think the way we were talking, it can be both. It's depending on what you're doing with it, because Robin was talking about the actual material itself can have its own energy or vibration that you can activate and direct, right? So the element materials that it's made of, but mostly for me, it is an extension of my energy out into something, or a way to bring and gather that energy in. So it's an evoking or projecting or drawing. I'm losing my words, but you understand what I'm saying.
And I really like this question because I think it is really helpful to understand how I am when I am working with, and when I am becoming that energy. And that moment of, for those of us who've ever done Tai Chi or something like that, yoga, or there's that moment, if you've ever had it, to where suddenly you've been doing the same motions over and over again, and suddenly there's a slight adjustment and you are the energy that you are working with. It's an amazing experience. And so I agree, let's not confuse energy with the medium for wielding it. That is well said.
It's like, and in magical, you can go back and forth between, and they're not necessarily separate either. You can overlap. But I like what you're saying about the energy and the Tai Chi, because I don't do magic unless I'm feeling and raising that energy. It's just something that may be why I got even into magic in the first place. And I've just always assumed that that's just how people did magic. And it didn't occur to me until I started working with a group of witches for the first time that they weren't talking about the same thing. Like, they're really obsessed with the right ingredients and the spells and the stuff. And I'm like, but you can just do magic. Like, I didn't understand. Like, and so for me, it always is just layering on the symbology, but the materials themselves, I'm an animist, and the materials themselves have power, have energy. And so you are using yours to tap into that. But it is also a language too for the tools and things that you use. So I love that you're talking about that, because that, for me, if I'm not raising and directing energy in magic, it's not magic to me. So if I feel silly, if I'm waving a wand around and feel silly, that's still energy, and I can direct that. And then it becomes playful energy, which to me is the heart of magic. Heart of magic is playing with
that's why trance or ecstatic dance is a powerful warm-up to magic work. Yeah, and for me, this may be oversharing, but I get so caught up in my head, I have to have the physical aspect of magic because it doesn't work.
Robin, it is physical for me. That's You're
up next, but I want to read a couple of chats. Naomi said, when I made some wands, someone told me to measure from my elbow to the tip of my finger. I have no idea why you do that, though.
That one's next.
That one's next. So, and Kristen Louise is here. Hello. And Regina's heading out. So I love that. Even feeling silly is raising energy. Never thought of it that way. Yes.
The best banishing ritual you have is to just laugh. There are some chaos magic groups. That's how they end their thing. That's how they banish. They joke, they laugh, they clap. Yeah, that's energy. Big energy. Big energy.
Okay, so we are almost at an hour, and I want to be able to go through more show and tell. So, Robin, I am going to embiggen you, and so so you can show and tell, how was it created, what materials did you use, and why, and if you have a specific use.
Okay, I just want to piggyback on the sadhana comment that yes, a wand does have a certain amount of energy, a certain degree of energy, but it basically is something that conveys energy. So like a straw, like Chris said, I bring in sustenance through the straw into my body. I can also have liquid in my mouth that I blow out through the straw. So the straw itself has a certain amount of energy, but it's basically a conveyor or a conductor of that energy. Now, as to staffs, I only have one staff, oddly, because there's a lot of walking in New York City, I can't find places that actually sell walking sticks or staffs. You can find canes everywhere, but not staffs. On a road trip to Maine, I found this beautiful staff. I wasn't even going to show it because it won't really all fit on the screen. But it's this lovely long, I actually like these ones with sort of curved character to them. It's unfortunate that I can't really share or show you the bend, you know, how this it's kind of perfect for my hand here when I'm walking, that kind of curve. So I really love this staff. I don't know what it's made of. It just visually appealed to me and has a really nice weight and support to it.
That's lovely. And Patrice has shown up, so welcome back, Patrice. For those of you who have not did not see, Patrice came on live Richie and me yesterday, and it was quite lovely. So I'm going to embiggen myself so that I can show my staff. And this is a staff that I made. I found this piece of wood. And I actually
I love that.
I worked with this, and I worked on this over the summer solstice several years ago, and I recycled leather belt, and under this leather belt is a particular crystal here, so I have it protected. And then you can see is that I have painted it, so it's painted down here with yellow, and then it goes up to red for the flame. And then I also have a another recycled leather belt at the top. But I also included, I hope you can see it, I have a crystal, and then I also have copper wire that for this specific use connects the top and the bottom crystals for this purpose.
Are there nails in there too?
There are copper tacks in to keep it in there.
Nice.
And they were done for a specific reason, and currently this staff, it feels perfect. It's amazing. I have rubbed I rubbed beeswax into the wood, and I put cinnamon and cayenne pepper in the beeswax.
Nice, so fiery energy.
Yeah, fiery energy. And the use for this tool is, this is my guardian stick, and so it sits at the next to my door, my main entrance. And when I've done ritual and people have asked me to attend and help be a guardian, this is what I take, because there's not going to be a whole lot that's getting through.
I love the tacks and the copper. My formal one that has copper on it, but there's no cunning man tradition of putting a nail in a stick and then using the nail to mark magic marks. They wouldn't have called them sigils, but to mark magic marks with them.
Yeah. And there is much more in that staff than I will ever tell you. So, okay, so as she said, there is a universal energy, and when we attune with it, there's a sense of peace that's not like anything else.
Yeah,
tools, ritual, and ingredients can help us divine a thread of that energy to a fated point. We're equally fated to be that conduit. Yeah. And okay, so chat just jumped. Sorry. So everybody feels.
Donna's gonna be digging something. Yeah. What's Donna digging?
Donna loves that stuff. Hi, Vernetta. Sadhana is going out and doing veggie gardening.
Oh, okay.
Need to get the dirt, yeah. So Naomi said all these staffs are beautiful. And I wish I had my walking stick from church camp when I was young. We tied a different bead for all the elements to it each day after learning about the elements.
Is that a UU church? I don't know that my church would have been doing anything with elements back then. Nice.
So Ishi said, thanks for sharing these, Chris, Robin, and Chris, and Gerald. So Gigi is enjoying this tremendously. I will be in touch, Gigi. And Amber's like, oh my, almost 4 years ago, my husband tried to give me a staff that he had made. I told him, no thanks. I'm looking at now might need to tell him I'm ready to go walking with him. So
if it's a meant to be magic tool, it comes to you when you need it. So
yeah. And Deanne said church was very nature based.
That's awesome.
And Mindy is cramming for the rune group. So thank you, Mindy.
Oh my gosh. Is that tonight?
It is tonight at 6.
All right, well, I'll be there. I didn't do any reading.
Uh-oh. So Chris, would you like to show us a, okay, here, I'll help narrow it down. The wand that you use the most, and go ahead and if you have a wand that you want to share, we'll do two for one this time.
All right. Well, the one is the staff I just showed you, but I have a million staffs, so you said we might do a part 2 of it, so that's cool. But the staff I just showed you, that's
okay.
I still use that, but yeah, I'll show you 2 because they'll be quick. So this was my second ever wand, which is now a broom. So my first ever wand was also made with the first ever 2 stones I ever bought specifically for spiritual purposes, and it was a little tiny egg-shaped piece of hematite because I instinctively knew I just needed some balance. So that for grounding, receptive, dark, and I got a crystal point, clear crystal point for active, masculine, the polarities. And I had attached it here, and I attached it, there's actually like a little groove at the end here, the point into that, and I had wrapped white leather and black leather and 2 kinds of metal. Can't remember. It was a beautiful, beautiful wand. I sometimes wish I still had it. But I made the wand out of those stones because I had used those stones after a traumatic thing that happened to me as an adult, and really used those stones because I just knew I needed balance. So when it came time to make a wand, I made a wand that was of an oak tree that I planted. I went out in the woods, found it, planted in the yard, and grew. And so there's a branch from that, and it was my elbow to fingertip. And I used that wand for years and years and years, but I really needed the stones back. And so I dismantled the wand, but I have reused it now to make the broom. And I do use brooms pretty much the same way I do wands. This end is the feminine end, and the evoking or drawing energy in. This is still the masculine end to direct energy out if you need to. So I have wands and brooms are the same for me, depending on which way you want it to go. And then I made this. The material actually grows on our ancestral land back at home. I've made several brooms that my grandpa used to actually make real brooms for the house out of that. So ancestral stuff, it's the tree that I picked, it's the oak tree. I used the one before, I held the crystals that were important to me. So this is a very powerful wand broom, whatever that you want to call it or use it as. So, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 4 elements in spirit. So it may look simple, but there's a lot of actual just power in the materials and meaning and history, and even a simple little thing you can add meaning to. So that's nice. My second one. Now my broom. And you said one more. I had this one. Yeah, you said, yeah. So this is the last wand I'll show. This is not my formal wand. And these are not the original hematite and crystal points, but I had the wand maker pick them out for me, and I'll tell you why. So it's a custom made wand. I don't remember, this was, early days of the internet even. I sent them the wood. It's another piece of the oak tree that I was talking about because oak is particularly important to me. And I got to tell them how to make it. So first thing is that I wanted it to be perfectly balanced in the middle. So I'm not going to hold it with one fingertip because I'm sure to drop it on camera, but I can hold it with one fingertip right in the middle. Because again, I've got the hematite for the feminine end, the crystal for that end. I have 13 rings on it because 13 is my number. And I had them do copper. Oh, I can hold this up. Had them do copper, that's actual copper leafing, and silver leafing for masculine and feminine energies. And the reason I had them choose the crystal for me is because I gave them a measurement so that would be exactly elbow to longest fingertip as an extension of me, my body, my arm. The actual dimensions of my body are magical to me because that's my form. Someone had asked earlier why elbow to fingertip was ever a tradition for wands, and for me that's why, because it's an extension of your body, extension of your arm, so it can literally double. And that's my formal wand now.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, that answers the question that somebody had before. I think it may have been perhaps Naomi. Why? And it's just a tradition that I've heard that it be the inside of your elbow to your longest fingertip.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
Robin,
literally your skeleton.
Yeah,
literally your skeleton.
Robin, show us your wand.
Okay, I have wands I've made and wands that I've bought and collected, which I hope will have chance for that in another round. But the ones I've made, half a dozen to maybe 10, 12 years ago, I went through this spell of whittling wands. I live in the city. There are a couple of parks. I don't take branches from the trees. I take deadfall on the ground. And one of my favorite parks has my favorite tree in the city, which is a weeping willow tree that I sit under. And she very generously cast down a branch one day that I whittled into a wand. I strip off the bark. I'm very much a purist about the wood. I don't add things to it. So I strip off the bark, I sand it down, I sharpen the points, and I coat it with beeswax. That's about all I do to the wand. I keep it very close to the original tree branch. So this is my willow wand, which I absolutely love. Oh, actually, none of these are my most used wand. If we get a chance for the bought ones, I'll show you that next. And then this is another one, and I've forgotten what kind of wood this is, but this has more of a kind of a point to it, and it's a little bit shorter. Also, I just wanted to show, I bought this painter's paintbrush holder, which holds a whole array of wands that I have whittled over the years. And
that is beautiful.
That's some Hogwarts shit there. I love it.
Yeah. And you can see a few tags where I was able to identify the tree. I attached the name of the wood to those wands. If we get to books, I also will mention things like natural tree guides to identify wood for your wands.
Yeah.
Okay, Robin, you've collected.
Sorry?
Robin, you've collected all of those from Fallen Wood?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Because then it's like you're going to the, I love that you said it was a gift. That's fantastic. I love it. Nice.
Ishi said, I think that spears were cast with an extension that was measured longest fingertip to elbow.
Yeah. Yep.
One of my favorite fact-based sci-fi author is true, and it helps them throw it further.
Yeah.
And Amber said, I think I'm going to ask my husband to make me a wand. LOL. That is going to be a conversation, but he has gorgeous wood in his shop.
Right. Noted. Amber's husband has gorgeous wood.
There you go. Masha wants to know, does anyone use, I don't know how to say this word properly, Chris.
Owen.
Practice.
Owen. Yeah.
So.
Masha, I have some. Well, I have a pack of card of OMs. I just have not wanted to devote the time to it, but I do have my own set of divining wood. When I was doing my ADF Druid Grove here, 9 Woods was the name of our grove, and it was based on 9 sacred woods to our specific area, our region, that I researched ahead of time. I found, if you research trees, and I'm Robin sure that you have done this, just the history and the use of the trees in your area, like find out what's sacred, and what's sacred is what was used and what was maybe sacred, but how did it world with people, and that can give you the clue into how you can use those properties. So I researched these trees, and then I went over several months to find a piece of one, Robin, that had fallen. I didn't want to cut any of these pieces of wood, and then I'll show that if we do a part 2. I'll show that. So they're all about that size, and I cut off a piece to put, and wood burned the name of the wood. And so if I need to talk to my council of trees here from the Gulf Coast, from the Florida swampy regions, I can ask them questions, and I can reach in and pull, and I know which tree is speaking to me. So I don't use OM, but I use my own sort of systems.
Okay.
That's chaos magic.
Robin, a lot of people love your collection. Amber, Zane, Gigi, and Tangi's like,
hey, you want to buy a wand? I got the good stuff.
Jonathan said his first wand was a gift from my favorite weeping willow. So, and that paintbrush holder and the wands are so cool. So, yeah, you need a trench coat. Tarot trainee Danielle said, wow, I picked up a piece of root when our backyard was torn up, and I have been working with it. I just measured it thinking it was short, but it is perfect. There you go.
Yeah, if it's something you find from nature, don't worry about the elbow bullshit stuff. That's if you're going to cut one and make it yourself, right? But yeah.
Yeah.
To me, anything that's found is more powerful even than something you're going to... Yeah. Something you found or made yourself is always...
She said, she said, if the wood is cast off by the tree, it's good for casting. If you thank the tree, the blessing is both ways. Yeah, I never, I have a, Jilly's like going, oh, Gloria, I had to step away for a while. I have a lot to rewatch. Yikes. I am the firm believer that I want an exchange for the pieces that I used for my wand. So all of the stuff that I've gotten has been in agreement and usually on the ground. And okay, so I'm going to go solo layout.
Ed, wait a second. When my willow tree gifted me her branch, I made physical contact with the tree to let her know that I'm thanking her for that gift.
Yep.
I love it. I think we're all naturally animist, and we just don't have a language for it. Like, when you get down to like real human, like, yeah, I just think that, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So I want to show, this is the first wand that I created in particular as I was working on joining the coven that I belong to. And at the tip, you can actually see I have a crystal point, and then I have actually wrapped it with the copper to help. And then I did peel off some of the bark and then I have it left, and then I have it wrapped with leather. And no, I'm not going to tell you what's under the leather. And then at the bottom,
I know, I can guess.
at the bottom, this is amber. So it actually, when I hold it, there's my thumb. My thumb goes right there, and it's the perfect blend between them. So I'm holding it like that, and this is what I use. It is, I believe it is a curly willow, and it works beautifully. So it is my most used wand. So I'm using this when I'm casting circle or creating sacred space, or doing anything else like that. And then the other one that I want to share is a wand that I actually had commissioned. This is, and it came with a box, and this was a box made specifically for this wand. And I challenged this person to create a wand for me that contained all of the elements. And so this was handmade.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, this was handmade by a friend's father, and I believe it is walnut, and it is painted so it has flames. I don't know if you can see the flames on it, and it actually it's there, but in here it's actually bubbles. So
right.
it has water and air in it, because I can blow bubbles with it. And so
I love it.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Beautiful. And it's not the right length, but who cares? Because
yeah.
I had it commissioned.
Stuff like that is just icing on the cake once in a while. But yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. Because you don't have to have them all. Gerald, I'll show this real quick because I wasn't intending to, but I want you to see how much we think alike. If you'll embiggen me for a second.
Oh, Chris wants me to embiggen him.
This is my willow wand. And I did almost, this one I used a gold color with a crystal point. And the willow tree came from where I grew up. I used hematite again. I just like this for clarity. And I used the beeswax on this one. And for the elements, since you have the 4 elements in your wand too, I used some pieces of citrine for fire, shell for, can you see it? A shell there for water, bone for earth, and then feathers for air. And I don't actually use this wand much. It was kind of like having it around. For me, it's more like of a healing sort of willow for me as a healing energy anyway. So, but you whipped it out, and I was like, you got to see mine.
There you go. Yeah, and thank you. I love that wand, and it was an amazing gift. And I was just so pleased that Paul actually created the box for it too.
Oh, nice.
It's just
that's
truly
clever. I love it.
Yeah,
love it. Yeah.
And it was a challenge for him. Paul is the kind of guy who I'm like going, Paul, wands are generally aspect of fire. That's how I associate them, but they're also earth because they're made of wood. Can you get all 4 elements in? And he did. And I love that idea of blowing bubbles. Because imagine, it's that
magical.
Moment.
Yes.
I'm whispering words, or I'm speaking the spell into the bubbles as they go off.
Yeah.
So
nice. I'm already thinking like I might be putting some essential oils in there. Little. Yeah. I love it. I love that.
Thank you. Okay, so in the interest of time, since it is 20 after and we have about 10 minutes, because I need to give myself a little bit of time between this and when I visit Masha. So the other questions that we have is, and we can sort of blend them together. Do you consecrate or dedicate your tools? And do you cleanse your tools? So I'll go first. Yes,
Okay.
I consecrate my wands, and I dedicate them. I dedicate all of my tools with a ritual that is associated, that I have written, that I do on the full moon and the new moon. And I take them to all 5 of the elements and ask for the power of that element. I do not cleanse my tools per se regularly unless someone has touched them, because these are my tools and you do not touch without permission. But I think in particular wands, in my coven, wands are an individual tool. We have individual tools and we have coven tools. So it's interesting. This is when we're clearing up, you'll see people's tools around. Nobody's touching the other people's tools. So, but yeah. So, Chris, do you consecrate or dedicate your tools?
Always. I, unless they're from nature, I always cleanse. So a lot of my wands I probably did not ever cleanse because it's from nature, it's from the tree. That's the energy I'm wanting. It's not, if it's something I buy or pick up, then yes, always cleanse. I try to do it with salt if I can. If it's a substance or material that will allow it to adhere to a little bit of wet salt for a while, and then I wash it off. So if I don't cleanse, then I'll cleanse to the consecrate part. However that seems appropriate at the time. Usually some kind of oils, pass it through the incense. My iron cauldron, actually, sometimes a tool like that, I buried it, I burned it in a sacred fire all night long, left it out till it was ashes the next day, buried that in the earth for a moon cycle. Like, it was a long, how important my iron, or we can talk about that later, but so it depends on the tool, what the consecration process might be. It might take 2 months. It might take 2 minutes, right? And then dedication, depending on what it's for. If it's a statue, I will make a dedication to the particular deity or something. If it's something that I want to carry, spirit or whatever, then I'll make a dedication. Or a Santa Muerte tarot deck. This is for you, Santa Muerte. That's my dedication. I only use it for talking with her. But if I don't need to dedicate it to something specific, I will charge it with energy. And so I cleanse it, consecrate it, make it holy, and then I charge it with me, however I do that. You have some secret ways, we all have our secret ways. But mostly is to imbue it with the energy that I've always talked about. And one of the easiest ways for me is to just breathe on it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's sort of like the magical version of pissing on your territory.
Robin, do you consecrate or dedicate your tools, and do you cleanse them?
Can you embiggen me?
Wow. Give me a minute.
Everybody wants to be embiggened.
I don't consecrate or cleanse my tools, but I'm going to reclaim my time to show you some of the wands that I have bought. These are various ones and made of various materials. More important to me than the length is the weight. They have to feel right in your hand. It has to have the right feel. I mean, this is a really pretty wand, but the wood is so light, it just doesn't feel substantial in my hand. This one's a little heavier. Now, I also wanted to show a lot of you light incense at home, and you have these little lighters, Oh, my fan is blowing it out, but you know what I mean, these Bic lighters. Yes. There's a wand. I also have an electric wand, and this is not what you might think it's for. It is not a vibrator. You can get these through China online, and they carry certain voltage through the battery, and you put them on pressure points on the body, and it imbues electricity through your system.
That's fascinating.
That's a really good tool if you have, like, arthritis or particular aches. You want energy to flow through the body. You might need to do more research on how to use those. Now, down to my favorite ones. This is actually a beater for a bodhran drum, but I really love the shape of it. It's a little on the bulbous side, but that's really nice. And my favorite, most used wand is this little bodhran beater that I can use either direction. This is more sort of ovular, and then this is more round, or maybe it's the other way around.
Yeah.
But I really love this one. I tend to stir a lot of spiral energy, and this is my most recent wand, which is a honey dipper. And I'm going to, sort of channel the energy of the bees for this work. But I also think I need to find some sort of vessel to hold soap bubbles in, because I'm curious to see how this manifests soap bubbles. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you for the time.
Oh, of course. And a lot of people were, Gigi in particular said, loved the sound that those made when you put them together, your wands. It was like, it was lovely, and it's the swishing sound. Yeah, that's amazing. So, okay, so just Robin had suggested a couple of books, 4 books that he had access to. Wanding by Evan Tweedy, Wand Lore, The Art of Crafting the Ultimate Magical Tool, and then Wand Lore, Power and Practice by the Wand Maker.
That's one of the best ones.
Yeah. I believe I have that one. And then The Power of the Wand from Energy to Reality by Reynold O. Bell. So. And
the wanding one is actually sort of my favorite. It's the simplest little book. And but it actually, I got it in one of those discount places in a kit that comes with a little velvet bag and its own little wooden wand in there. It's kind of a crappy wand, but it's neat that they put it in there. It's like unfinished kind of wood, but But the book itself, you can still find the book online on Amazon. Not the whole kit, I don't think, but the book is great.
Gigi said, I realized that all my wands ever were gifted to me. And sorry. I wanted to add real quick 3 more books that I forgot to show you. Celtic Tree Magic. I'm going to you.
Oh, Celtic Tree Magic, which I don't have the author handy. It says The Witch's Almanac, Newport. I don't know. You can look that up. Whispers from the Woods by Sandra Kynes, The Lore and Magic of Trees. This is wonderful. And I recommend the Peterson Flash Guides. It's kind of like a little roadmap that it's not magic oriented, but it's a tree identifier through like leaves and seeds and so forth. So if you're cultivating wands from the forest, it'll help you identify what the trees are. And then you can look up in one of the other books what the values of those particular woods are in wand crafting.
Is she? Yes, I will put the description and some links below. Everybody was saying, they were talking about wand ASMR. So Debbie said, I think my crochet hooks are my magic wands.
Yeah.
It's like completely. So, feathers and quills also make great wands. Yes. Or large. So.
My favorite Furls crochet hook magic wand.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I think it's made out of rosewood, and it's really beautiful.
I love it. I love it. I covet that a little bit.
So
Such an old symbol.
I will put these questions in the description below. So I'm going live with Masha, so it'll happen by tomorrow.
We didn't talk about. There's the witch's finger. Sorry.
Hold on, hold that thought. If you would like to participate and give us a VR, hashtag Magic Tool Talk -wands, and I'll have the description below. Go ahead, Robin.
This is my very first wand. I call it the witch's finger. We didn't get too much into crystals. That's a whole other thing. And using crystals on wands, which I don't do, but I see both of you do. And that might be a good topic for another show, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of people use crystal wands. They just have the whole wand is crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks everybody. And the next time we're going to be on Tarot Stash, and Chris and I are going to be talking about, and it's going to be Tuesday, the 17th at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we're talking about brooms.
Brooms. I have a thing for brooms.
If anybody has brooms and specifically would like to join us, please contact me. So thanks everybody very much. Appreciate it. Feel free to join us and do a VR. So everybody have a good evening.
All right. Thank you, Gerald, for being such a gracious host always.
Chris and Robin.
There we go.